লাইভে আছো?
Welcome to our first online sessions on the Constitution. Now, today we are going to introduce ourselves as a YouTubers and our channels, the consultants and citizens' rights. We are an socio legal NGOs. We are just going to start a course on paralegal volunteers, the law students, non-law students, those who are interested to know the learn about the laws of India and others countries, and basically we wanted to trust ourselves to the laws of land. And second thing, the Constitution of India. Now today we will discuss on the basic structure of the Constitution of India. Now, many of our students, law students, knows that the Constitution of India is being taught in the second year or third year of their 5-year LLB course. And I don't know whether they are aware of the basic structures, because of the reason that in law colleges the teachers whenever taught us about the constitution, sometimes we could not understand the actual the meaning of the constitution. So we will just try to explain in a nutshell about the constitution of India and its basic structures. Now, the constitution of India is a fundamental document that outlines the basic structure of the country's government. It is essential to understand its key components and the relevant articles that govern them. Now, in India, we have our country basis of this Constitution of India. The Constitution of India has been divided into in several parts, including its preamble, the fundamental rights, directive principles of state policy, fundamental duties, and more. Each of these parts plays a crucial role in shaping the functioning of the Indian government. Now, what is the preamble? The preamble sets the tone for the constitution. It is highlighting the ideals and objectives that the nation aspires to achieve. It emphasizes justice, liberty, equality, and fraternity amongst its citizens. The what is the preamble says the tone of the constitution. This is the justice, liberty, equality, and fraternity amongst its citizens. Now, what is fundamental rights? We have discussed about. We will discuss in the later on in our next lectures, uh, one by one, part by part. Today, we will just only give you an overall idea about the basic structure of the Constitution of India. Now we have decided about the preamble. And the next part is The fundamental rights. The fundamental rights enshrined in Article 12 to 35 guarantees certain essential freedoms to every individual in India. These rights include the right to equality, freedom of speech and expressions, protection against discrimination, and the right to constitutional remedies. Now, if I says in a short examples, that right to equality, the right to equality means the equal treatment between the citizens. Right to equality means there should not be any inequality in opportunity of getting government employment and or facilities. And what is next is freedom of speech and expression. Means that I have a right, I can speech and express my views, but keep in mind that my freedom of speech should not hamper, should not disturb the other's freedom, which has been enshrined by the Constitution of India to other fellow citizens. The next is protection against discrimination. Now, I told in the first time that equality before law, and now we are concerned with the discrimination. Now, what is discrimination? Discrimination on the basis of religion, caste, and creeds. And others' right is the constitutional remedies, which is that the constitutional remedies is I have a right to choose my own advocates. I have a right of to hold property. I have a right to free movement all over in India. I have a right to stay all over in India. These are the constitutional remedies. You cannot, government cannot deny to these constitutional remedies. Now, the next is comes as a directive principle of state policies. And what is that? The Article 36 to 51 provide guidelines for the government to establish a just and equitable society. Now, actually, what is India's composition is union of states. The preamble says that India, that is union of states. So that means the directive principles of state policy thereby is the responsibility of the respective states to maintain certain rights towards the citizen. Now we do not have any dual citizens. Dual citizens mean if I am a citizen by birth of West Bengal, then I am a citizen of India. If someone is by birth become a citizen who took birth in Kashmir, then he is a citizen of India. So the Kashmir, the state of Kashmir has some own rules and regulations and responsibility. As well, the state of West Bengal has its own rules and responsibility towards the maintaining law and order situations, the educational purpose. The education is joint list, that is central and state governments, but law and order is some completely state government subject. So we will discuss on that issue. There are certain schedules mentioned in the constitution. According to that schedules, it is mentioned therein that the state government will maintain this list, the central government will maintain this list. So this list will be discussed later on when we will discuss about the schedule of the responsibility and duties of the state. Now it comes the principal aims to promote social welfare, economic justice, and the overall well-being of the citizens. So, what was the main basics purpose of the constitution is this principle aims to promote social welfare, economic justice, and overall well-being of the citizens. As I have told earlier, that I have a right to choose my own advocates as well as a speedy trial. A speedy trial is the constitutional rights. That is enshrined in Article 21 also, where the fundamental rights has been specifically stated. Now we will discuss on the later on about that comes. Now, what is fundamental duties? This is the main factor that we, the citizens of India, always concerned about our rights, but we never concern about our duties. The duties of a citizen has been specifically mentioned in Article 51 of the Constitution of India. The outline of the responsibilities of every citizen towards the nation. These duties include respecting to our constitution, promoting harmony, safeguarding public property, and striving for excellence in all endeavors. Now, this is the fundamental duties of a citizen. Now, one thing we must keep in mind that what is the duties, we must discuss on that also. It is a separate chapter in Article 51A, which has been specifically described about the duties, which includes promoting harmony. That means religious harmonious. Normally, we call that diversity of unity in India. That means we have many religious faith in India, but we are one nation, our unity in diversities. So that is why it is stated that promoting harmony. Article 25 has says right to preachings religious, practice and propaganda. Now we will also discuss about Article 25 later on, wherein it is stated promoting harmony and safeguarding public property. What is public property? The the public property is government offices, mandir, mandir, masjid, church. These all are where the government has acquired the land, where the government uh, promotes the practice and preachings of religious practices to the different citizens amongst the citizens of India. So these are the fundamental duties. Now next comes additionally, the Constitution of India establishes the structure and powers of the three branches of government. Now in our democratic country like India, we have our three wings. One is legislature, the second is executive, and the third one is judiciary. It is in our democratic India, there are three wings. At present, sometimes people are saying that newspapers, journalism are the fourth pillar of the democratic country. Because of the reason, unless the journalist journalism are working, journalists are there who will raise the questions to the government, the pros and cons, the benefits, the merits, the demerits of the policies the government is going to take. So these are the four wings. Nowadays is being told that legislatures, legislatures means in the state it's assembly, in the central it's the parliament, executive means the executive officers, that is IAS, IPS, WBCS, or any other states services, and the judiciary. Judiciary means the high courts and its subordinates, and all high courts is governing under the supervision of Supreme Court of India. The Supreme Court of India situated in Delhi, and every state has its own high court, that is under the judiciary. Now, Article 245 to 255, Article 245 to 255 define the distribution of legislative powers between the central and state government. What is that? The executive, headed by the president, is responsible for implementing laws and policies. The judiciary, consisting of the Supreme Court and various high courts, ensures the proper interpretation and enforcement of the Constitution. Therefore, the legislatures comes to elect the member of the executive heads, that is the President of India. Now, President comes from election from the member of the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, and also the assembly, legislative assembly. So when the president elect, he became the head of the executive powers. The constitution runs in the name of the presidents of India, and the executive powers is being ensured by proper interpretation and enforcement of the constitution is responsible by the judiciary. Therefore, the judiciary has a vital role to interpret and enforcement of the policies and laws of the government that has been taken by the legislative part of the government, thereby the Lok Sabha and the assembly in the state. And the judiciary is being responsible to ensure the policies has been enforced properly. Now we were discussing about the basic structure of the Constitution of India. In conclusion, we are coming to the conclusion of the basic structure. This is the only the outlines of the Constitution's basic structure. That Constitution of India serves as the backbone of the nation's governance. It is the backbone of the nation's governance. Its various components, such as the preamble, fundamental rights, directive principles of state policy, fundamental duties, and the structure of the three branches of governance, that is, legislature, executive, and judiciary. Now, this is the first part of our lecture, the basic structure of the Constitution of India. We will discuss in details about the basic structure of the Constitution of India with the articles one by one. in our next part of our lectures.